This is the Gunnerside Gill walk in Swaledale, a circular route through the Yorkshire Dales that follows the valley north from the village of Gunnerside. The path begins beside Gunnerside Beck and continues upstream through open countryside. The route reaches Birkbeck Wood, then follows the beck to the Sir Francis dressing floor, a disused lead mining site. It continues to the Bunton mine before climbing the valley side and dropping to the Blakethwaite Smelt mill, which stands beside the beck near the valley's head. Crossing to the opposite bank, the trail passes Pasture Gill Gate, running below Silver Hill and Jingle Edge. The path turns southwest, descending towards a minor road that bends left to the hamlet of Ivelet. From there, it crosses a dozen grassy fields with open views across the valley before returning to Gunnerside village, completing the walk through this historic Swaledale landscape. Now the journey continues from ground level, exploring the valley in more detail. This is Gunnerside Beck, half a mile north of the village, where a side path climbs but the main route stays close to the water. The path continues beside Gunnerside Beck through the steep-sided valley of Gunnerside Gill, flowing south towards the River Swale. As it rises gently, the beck remains below on the left, giving a varied and scenic start to the walk. Soon the route enters Birkbeck Wood, a quiet, shaded stretch that leads away from the beck and into a more enclosed landscape. At the edge of the wood there's a classic Dales view of a stone barn, with low scar on the hillside, framed by dry stone walls. Beyond this point, the path passes through a gate into Winterings pasture, where an old field barn stands beside the route. Further ahead, small spoil heaps appear on the slopes, marking the approach to a historic mining area. The Sir Francis dressing floor was once used to crush and sort lead ore before smelting, and stone bouse teams can still be seen here. From this site, the path follows the beck upstream before climbing steadily along the valley side. Across the water stands a derelict two-storey stone building on the west bank, close to the beck itself. Nearby lies the Sir Francis Level air receiver, where compressed air drills were first used in Yorkshire mining during the 1870s. A little further on, the higher ground reveals Pasture Gill Nook, a distinct cut in the landscape to the left. The route continues north beneath the rocky outcrop of Swinnerbank Scar on the valley's eastern side. Across the valley are the spoil heaps and remains of the disused dolly lead level, clear evidence of past industry. Looking down from the slope, Gunnerside Beck winds through the valley floor towards Swaledale. The Bunton mine and dressing floor lies ahead, with remains of bouse teams, a water-powered mill and a smithy. Beyond this site, a signpost gives the option to descend to the beck or climb towards Blakethwaite dams. Taking the higher route gives a view of the Blakethwaite smelt mill below before the path drops into the valley. Here, where Blind Gill meets Blakethwaite Gill, the valley floor is filled with the remains of old workings. The Blakethwaite smelt mill, built around 1821, processed lead ore from nearby mines using peat and coal. A large stone slab forms the footbridge over the beck, linking both sides of the site. From the bridge, the view north shows the public bridleway leading further up the valley towards Blakethwaite dams. Looking back reveals the derelict stone buildings beside the beck, reminders of the industry that once filled the valley. Heading south along the opposite bank, the route passes North Hush, part of the Lownathwaite lead mines. At Pasture Gill Gate, a narrow waterfall cuts through the hillside, forming the steep cleft known as Pasture Gill Nook. Beyond this point, the trail runs south across Silver Hill, with views east towards Winterings Scar and Melbeck's Moor. Old spoil tips scatter the slopes on both sides of the valley, evidence of the area's long mining history. From the path, Gunnerside Beck can be seen, winding below through the heart of the valley. Looking east from the slope, both the barn at Winterings and the Sir Francis dressing floor come back into view. The path follows Jingle Edge, curving south towards the rocky outcrop of High Scar. Below lies a timeless patchwork of fields, barns and dry stone walls typical of the Yorkshire Dales. Rounding Jingle Edge brings wide views east across Swaledale, with Gunnerside visible below. The route crosses a small bridge over Shaw Gill and joins a quiet lane heading towards Ivelet. In Ivelet, the path turns left after the red telephone box and continues along the lane. Beyond the hamlet, the trail passes through grassy fields, using gates in the dry stone walls. From this stretch, the River Swale can be seen winding through the valley to the right. The walk concludes back in Gunnerside, completing the circular route through Gunnerside Gill. Discover the full route, photos and directions at paulbeal.com.